teammates are the problem. And you know what? I've got the proof. We've all been there. That game where your teammate messes up every single time and you're sitting there thinking, why am I still stuck at this rank? Well, buckle up, because today we're going to break down exactly why this happens and what you can do to fix it. I've got one of the top Rocket League coaches in the world who has coached RLCS pros to tell you exactly why your teammates are holding you back.
There was a lot of negative things that happened because of Daniel's teammate. So sometimes, yeah, your teammate is the problem.
Yo. What is up, guys? Hyde here. I had such an amazing time making that horror trailer, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. But this is a serious video. I genuinely believe teammates are the problem. And if you can do a few things correctly, you can escape this teammate hell purgatory. First, I'm going to get into the psychological side of ranked, how you can master the mental and get to a rank that you truly deserve. The most important mentality tip you will ever hear. And then Zector's going to come in, analyze Daniel replays, Zen replays, Rawas replays, banger replays. Zector's going to watch a replay where one of the top players in the world loses a rank 2's game because of his dreadful teammate. I truthfully believe Zector is the best in the game, and I know some pros agree as well. Guys, you're going to learn so much, you're gonna laugh, you're gonna enjoy it. Let's get into it. Here's the thing, confidence is everything in Rocket League. If you're not confident, you're not winning. But guess what? You can't have confidence if you're blaming yourself for every single mistake. Trust me, that's exactly what a lot of top players like Squishy get wrong. They sit there all high and mighty, teaching you guys to say, oh, it's my fault, oh, silly me, after every single situation, even when it doesn't make sense. Or some neckbeard on Reddit will tell you you could have done X better after you post a clip of your teammate literally own goaling. Forcing yourself to admit fault when there is none will cause confusion and will cause you to lose your confidence. Now, let's get real. You are not 100% responsible for your losses. If you're playing 2s at your proper rank, about 50% of the time the losses are on you, and the other 50%, that's your teammate, at least 50%. And that's not just some gut feeling. That's math. That's science, my dear Watson. But here's the twist. When you're playing well and it just feels like something's off, you know those sessions where you're peaking and you're 90% sure your teammate is the reason why you're losing your games? You're going to remember those games in that session for days, and they will eat at you. They'll hurt. It's a wound, a festering wound. In your mind, when you're playing very well, you should be ranking up, but that's not always the case. Here's what we conveniently forget. We ignore the games where we screwed up. The whiffed clears, the missed shots, the bad rotations. Those games don't stick in your head because, well, they don't fit the story. They don't fit the story you've made up in your own mind that you're a good Rocket League player. This is where psychology comes in. You've heard of the Dunning-Kruger Effect, right? Basically, you might be overestimating your abilities, only holding on to the good stuff. You know, those sick flicks and saves that make you feel like a Rocket League god. But when things don't go your way, it's way easier to blame your teammates, to externalize your failures, than confront your own mistakes. The interplay of the superego and the id, a la Sigmund Freud. In Sigmund Freud's psychoanalytic theory, repression is a defense mechanism where individuals unconsciously push unacceptable or painful thoughts, memories, or feelings into the unconscious mind to protect themselves from anxiety or guilt. This process keeps these thoughts and emotions from conscious awareness, even though they can still influence behavior. And boys, most of us are out here repressing. So, Dr. Freud, how can I get better at Rocket League and escape this tendency? Combating repression involves consciously acknowledging, understanding, and expressing repressed emotions and memories. I don't think there's a Rocket League therapist out there ready to listen to all of your ranked woes, but what you can do You can become your own therapist. Next time you lose horrifically, save that replay. Do not leave the game instantaneously. Stay in the post-game lobby, soak it all in. Replay review yourself and soberly analyze your mistakes. Make sure you breathe, make sure you're calm, and don't beat yourself up too much. It's not about where you are, it's about where you're going. Fall in love with the journey, not the destination. That's what Sigmund Freud would say. And in doing so, you will kill the ego. And when you kill your ego, in the ego death arises supersonic legend, or wherever you want to go. Let go of your ego, look at yourself in the mirror for who you really are, for what kind of player you really are, and then you may improve. And that advice you hear all the time, only blame yourself, sounds great in theory, right? But when you're stuck in a rank and you've just been dragged down by your teammate, that advice is toxic. Like, you start questioning everything, your gameplay, your mechanics, your life choices. I know I do. And your confidence, it takes a hit. But here's the kicker. This is the most important thing I will say in the video. Blaming your teammates can keep your confidence high, but you might miss a few things you need to work on if you're always focusing on the other car. Blaming yourself, focusing on your car, might help you spot those flaws, but in most cases, it will destroy your confidence, especially when things go off the rails. Remember, top pros, squishy, they're in the top 0.001%. Not many can soberly analyze their own gameplay, look at their flaws, not let it affect their mentality. So, what do you do about it? There is a third option, but I'm going to give you the first two that I don't think work well. Number 1, turn outward. Blame your teammates. Don't focus on your mistakes. Number 2, turn inward. Blame yourself for your mistakes. Internalize your mistakes instead of externalizing them onto your teammate. Number 3, my solution. Find peace. Don't focus on the mistake just for the sake of the mistake itself. Become Zen. And no, I'm not talking about Zen, the Rocket League player. I mean staying calm, analyzing the situation for what it is, and seeing each game as a chance to learn and grow, not just to win. Finding peace within yourself is not looking inward, it's not looking outward, it's logically and rationally looking at each of your mistakes. Finding peace first means to be comfortable with who you are as a player. You're not letting your mistakes define you. So when you see yourself whiff in a replay, see that for what it is, a mistake, and mistakes don't define you. The long term is what matters, not the short term. At the end of the day, you're in rank to get better. Focus on the small areas you can improve. Ask yourself, what could I have done better? Even if your teammate is rancid garbage, is dog water, there's always something you can control. Hey, maybe instead of losing 0-5, you could have lost 3-5. There will be a percentage of games. 20 to 50% of your losses are because of your teammates' incompetence, and that's just how it is. So that's why I say it's okay to blame your teammates, because there are some games where if you were soberly analyzing the gameplay and assigning blame correctly, your teammate could have been responsible for 80 to 90% of the loss. And at that point, it's almost a 1v2, so what are you supposed to do? And most importantly, you must keep your confidence high. Confidence is your superpower. Stay positive and keep learning. And hey, blame your teammates when it's deserved, but make sure it's deserved by analyzing the replay. The psychology/mentality segment is over. Let's commence the Zector replay review.
He could have definitely... What?
Let's see what this was. Yeah. Musting a rolling ball. That's a classic 2K Memoir play. 22.
Yeah, that was a bit ridiculous. It's interesting. That was really good touch. So the reason that he gets this touch, you can see immediately afterwards, like why he did it. But by getting this touch, he's gonna be able to land on the wall and immediately shoot, which is really strong. That was a really good decision. And that's kind of like the difference between, I would say, just an SSL player and like some of these pro players is like the intention behind this is so big. Like B, because like I feel like some SSLs they would do something similar to this, but they wouldn't have the amount of options Daniel had afterwards. Like this was executed really well, able to be played. So he read that really well as well. Probably let Daniel.
Uh-oh. Finkelberg. What is his name? DinkleFerb.
What is his profile?
Who is this guy, bro? Was this one of those cursed lobbies, like 1,700 player with 2,300
Yes,
players?
yes, it is.
Oh, no.
His profile picture is the worst thing I've ever seen.
What even is that? Is that like Lil Nas X with a, I don't know.
A watermelon on it?
That's funny. Cursed lobby.
That is
poor Daniel. Poor Daniel. We pray for him.
It's the worst part of these.
After this, he's like, all right, I'm queuing you. That's exactly what he said.
Yeah, absolutely. I like how Daniel's playing this. Daniel's gonna have a little bit of space here. I'm curious what he does with it. See, this is the proper way to do the play. I like this. Probably plays a 50 though. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can see sometimes, like you can see how quick Bosco was to jump for that.
Yeah.
It's always like this in this rank.
And you gotta go ball there.
Like it. Yeah. Any person with that ball, dude. Who is this?
Larry?
Like who is
poor
this guy?
Daniel.
I would actually cry if I was playing with this guy. Poor Larry.
This is a funny replay. I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Dude, this poor Larry guy. He's just not doing too well.
You know what?
Dude, poor Daniel, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is
rough, bro. Yo.
This is rough.
Yeah, I got 13-1 by Squishy like 5 years ago and ranked ones. I was GC1 or something or Champ 3, and he posted it on his channel, bro.
Playing in a pro lobby is one of the
It's
greatest
intimidating,
points.
bro. For me, I see that blue tag, bro. I shrivel up.
Dude, I see. I've played against my fair share of pros, but I find those games they're just so fun.
Yeah.
They really are, because the way that these players execute is typically very, very good, and it's just very enjoyable to actually understand what they're trying to do. Whereas when you play in the lower ranks, sometimes it's really hard to read what people are doing, because maybe they have the concept right but the execution really wrong, or they have the execution right but the concept is stupid. So it's just really hard. Yeah, Daniel's doing some 360s here, trying to do some yoga. I actually like how Daniel played that. He was very wary that he could have gotten 50 there, so he played it a little bit slower initially. That was really good.
I love seeing that. Yeah, that was great. All right, Larry.
So Daniel's playing this a bit more passive, not just because he's playing passive, but because Bosco has a cut option. So, and Bosco does do that cut. Larry consistently has just not gotten too much value. This is a really good play. I like. I already saw what he was going for. He executed it a little poorly. I like what he was going for here. He should have put more momentum into it. I think he just he kind of underestimated how quick the ball was going to go after the bounce. Pretty good. RG got a really bad touch, so they're not going to be able to do anything immediately. They're just trying to get the ball in a good space. Wow, Daniel is kind of getting cooked. I'm not gonna lie. He just seems very lethargic this game.
Yeah, I probably just gave up after seeing the name of his teammate.
I mean, if I saw Larry DinkleFerb, I might just leave the game. Truly. Especially after this. That's like mortal enemy. But sometimes people just get on and they just want to play, Some people get home and they haven't had the best time. Maybe their mindset isn't in the right place. But typically being negative really usually doesn't help that situation.
Yeah,
so
and it won't help your team to play better.
Approach,
Yeah,
the best approach is just say nothing, just do your best, and then go on to the next game. It's really not that serious, No matter what other game you play that's a team game, it's gonna happen. But specifically in Rocket League, one player can bring an entire team down 100%, and that's something that you have to have a level of acceptance with. And if you can't accept that, then just get frustrated, because that's where you're headed. Just being very angry, tilt queuing, being very frustrated, and then the whole, all of my teammates are bad, every teammate I play with is shit. That's when it gets a bit unhealthy. That's an unhealthy mindset, because not everything is your teammate's fault, of course. But there are games where, yes, your teammate is the one that made you lose, and there's nothing you can do about it. But it's not always like that, Just because your teammate is playing a little less than ideal doesn't mean that, like, every teammate that plays less than ideal is bad, That's just how it is. And I would say all the way up into, honestly, the highest level of play, you're going to see that. I see SSL. I mean, we just saw that. That guy, you know, whatever the fuck, Larry,
Dinkelberg.
whatever his name was.
Dinkelberg.
Yeah. That guy is all the way up playing with Daniel and Arju and stuff, and it's like that was his performance, you know. But it's like we don't know what's going on with him. You know what I mean? It's just that's how it is, and I'm sure Daniel understands that, and it's just whatever, go next. And I feel like if you really want to enhance your mindset, you have to adopt the same similar things. Like, hey, it's just go next. I'm gonna do my best though. I'm not gonna give up, you know. But it's just go next.
No, you're so right. Did you see Zen? He changed his name to like I just need good teammates. That's what his name was for like a week. Did you see that?
Yeah, but
funny.
I understand. I truly do get it. You know, I feel like when there's such a discrepancy sometimes between some of the teammates you get, especially in the lower ranks. I know this hurts you, lower rank players like C2. God. C2 is a cesspool.
It's hell.
It is a cesspool. Sometimes you're getting players that are so mechanical, but they're stupid. Or they're like so smart, but they just can't execute well. And then sometimes you're playing against peakers that are smurfing or old GCs that are just getting back into the game. It's terrible, dude. But the best thing you can do is just accept that's how it is. You have no control over it. All you can do is worry about your own improvement, and that's all you should do.
You know what I say? Because I'm on the Rocket League Reddit all the time, and this is a common post that's posted that my teammates are so bad, and I'm like, bro, you're diamond. Like, I could, at the GC2, I could probably 1v4 you guys. And this is why, because like, when I say my teammates are shit in GC2, I know someone like Zen, or even a low tier pro player, they can win streak in my rank. They won't lose a game. So there is a way to carry. Even if your teammate is horrific, you just have to learn how to carry. You have to learn how to score on your own. You don't always, in my opinion, that's like kind of you have to be able to carry some percentage of your games if you want to get to the next rank. You just have to. That's my opinion.
The thing is, people mistake carrying for doing everything themselves instead of enabling everyone on your team to do well. That's where there's a big misconception here. Right, because Daniel or Zen or anyone playing in these ranks, you know, they could mech out of them, but they still have their teammate. And what I say to people, if you want to carry, you shouldn't try to do everything yourself. You should actually let your teammate do a lot more, right? Because your teammate has presence on the field, and you can abuse their presence to put yourself in good positions. You can use your teammate to use their boost so you don't have to use yours. So once they've used their boost and they've drained the other team's boost, then you can come in and do all your mechy stuff and win, right? So I feel like people are too they're too oriented on themselves. You know what I mean? When in reality, the best way to carry is to just enable your teammate to do well and use your teammate and their presence and their positioning and their resources on the field in order to enable yourself to do well. Right. I feel like that is a very, very important thing to say because, yeah, absolutely. You can carry. But it gets to a point where it gets very difficult if you're only trying to do things yourself and you're not trying to enable your teammates in some regard. You know what I mean? I feel like when you get like GC2, like Zen could absolutely go into GC2 and all of those ranks. Like, and they, you know, depending on if it's 3s or 2s, if it's 2s, most players with good mechs are just going to do well because they can just literally out-mech people. But if we're talking like low ranks and 3s, it's really, really difficult to just try and do stuff yourself and just get out of it. You have to enable your teammates. You have to put your teammates in good positions. But some people, they just give up and they're like, oh, my teammate's shit. I'm not going to pass the ball to my teammate. I'm not going to give my teammate this boost. I'm going to be, you know, those are not good, right? Because you want to set your foundation as a player to be a good teammate. So when you have good teammates, you can play way better with them versus having this mindset of like, oh, you know, I'm going to try and carry everything. The carry mindset is really bad in Rocket League. I mean, I would say like, I could look at like many other games where it's like, that carry mindset is a lot easier to do than it would be in Rocket League, I would say. So the biggest thing is just try and be a good teammate. That's literally it. If you encapsulate this mindset of I'm going to be a good teammate, you will typically win more games. And if you don't win more games, you can sit there and be satisfied with the fact that you are a better teammate than whoever. And if you put yourself in a good position, like with higher level players, you will perform more successfully than those teammates that you're playing with. It isn't all the way out yet. You know what I mean? So he's willing to be aggressive, and he's confident in being aggressive, and you can see he's able to create those opportunities for himself because he's doing that. That was a really good fake as well. Wow. I like this really good positioning. I mean, he's just too good at this. Oh.
Yeah, looks like me out there.
Okay.
Oof.
Doing the wave dashes, messed it up.
Oh yeah, I mess up a lot of my wave dashes. Let's see.
Nice. I like how you played that a lot.
That's interesting. I would have challenged there. I would have cut off the angle early for no like. Yeah, there's not much reason though.
Where?
He has low boost. There's no reason to. I would have dove in like right here. Ooh, that's interesting.
Oh yeah, no.
I would have been scared.
The way this is. Oh yeah, see, if you want to play very well, you can't be scared of anything.
Yeah.
Earlier, you just got to be confident.
Yeah.
Like Zen comes in with, look at this, like he's incredibly confident.
That's
everything he does. Now, granted, mechanically that allows him to be. Oh, this is really. I mean, that could have worked, but wow.
Mako.
You can tell.
Who is this guy? I've never heard of Mako.
I don't know actually. So far, he's in a really good outlet. Probably just goes for this corner read here. Oh my gosh, dude. He's so deadly with his offensive options.
It's like brutal efficiency, you know?
Yeah.
Can you pinpoint like a situation that maybe like a diamond can like take away the mechs, just like a situation where like what they're doing, maybe displaying patience or whatever, that like a diamond or a champ can take from, you know what I mean? And maybe from a diamond champ perspective, I'm just curious. Like right here, like how would
a diamond approach this?
Like how should
a diamond would probably play super passive here.
Yeah,
I would imagine.
I would also. I would not be pushing in like this here.
Yeah, a diamond would play this super passive, and I feel like there's a lot of things. Like sometimes, once again, there's no respect, there's no confidence. I feel like they're not as confident mechanically. They're not as confident with their recoveries. So they're just like, I'm just going to wait for them to make a mistake. That can be very good in those lower ranks because, you know, oftentimes these players, you know, will make a mistake when you're in those ranks. But it's not going to be very good all the way up the ranks. If you give players in these situations space, you also give them outplay potential. Say that. Treble is not really confidently up wall and not in a position that he can really pressure Rawasi immediately. So this is okay. You can see he jumps up. This can be okay. This can be an okay play. I wouldn't say it is the best play, but the best play is really dependent on how he executes it. I say that this is a good position, but it really depends on how he executes it. But this can switch really easily because Rawas can turn his position from a good position into a bad position really quickly. So I wouldn't necessarily say this is bad, but I would say that Rawas is playing this very well. So this is really good. And he kind of diminished how good Treble's position may have been by how he executes this play. And you can see it makes Treble really awkward, and Rawas has like advantage. From back here to here, he had advantage that entire time, and it was because of how he was executing it and not necessarily because of what Treble was doing. And you can see Rawas able to get past Treble. We'll see how Mako plays this situation. This is not a bad decision. Rawas doesn't have a lot of boost. Mako has a significant amount of boost, can recover if he wanted to, wants to diminish this threat, wants to allow his teammate to get back and get a lot of this boost. You can see ends up okay. We are going to have Zen coming in, right? We'll see how Zen plays this. This is okay. I like this. This is a really aggressive play. Nothing wrong with this. Treble's positioning is about average in the situation. I wouldn't say it's incredible. It's just okay. He's going to be able to get away with this quite a significant amount. You can see Zen kind of just backs off. Forcing Treble to use boost. This, once again, really good decision. I wouldn't say that there's a better decision than this. And you can see, I would say that this is not that good. It's not exactly what he wanted to. If he wanted to execute this better, being able to pop above Mako would have been really good because Rawas would be able to turn in and they could keep some pressure here. So now we're going to see Zen at a disadvantage here because of what he did right here. So now they're going to have to try and play pacing. Hopefully this bounce comes out here. Yep, now Rawas is going to be able to play this. This is fine so far. Rawas just wants to get field progression in the situation. I'm seeing if Treble is going to try and challenge. That's not really good. I wonder if I'm saying Treble right. I'm pretty sure that's his name. But In this situation, a bit more patience could have been better. Rawas kind of has to commit to this reset here, so it's not necessarily that what Rawas is doing is bad necessarily. Like, this is good. It's okay. It's going to lead to him getting field progression, but Trebla kind of made what he's doing better because of what he did being so bad. If he just would have played this all the way in the corner, he could have already been right here and not used that boost in positioning, which would have been good.
Alright boys, sorry for the background noise in that last replay. I hope you enjoyed the video. Road to SSL tomorrow. And let me know what you think. Like, subscribe. I appreciate you all, Caparinos. You guys are the best. Much love. Peace.